Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome to Sew with Mediva. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you for sticking to my channel. So in today's video, we'll be learning how to sew a simple shawl collar double-breasted blazer dress with side pleats. So in our previous video, we learned how to draft the pattern. I'll leave the link pinned in the comment section and in the description box. So this video is very detailed, very easy to follow, and very beginners friendly. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, share with your loved ones. And so I've gone ahead to use the patterns we drafted in the previous video to cut out my fabric, and these are the front panels. So as you can see, I added half an inch on the center front. I added half an inch all the way around it, as you can see, because of the joining with the lining and also joining to the sides. As you can see, I added half an inch also on the shoulder area for my collar. So these are the sides. So I added half an inch only to this side. I'll be going to the center front, but for the other side I already have my seam allowance of 1.5 inches, so there is no need to add any allowance there. And I also cut out lining pieces. So like I said earlier, I cut out two pieces of the fabric for both sides and two pieces of lining. And then for this center front, whatever color you want your collar to appear as, that is what you're going to use as your lining. So me, I want mine to be the same fabric I'm using for my dress. So I cut out four pieces of the fabric. So I'm going to use the remaining two as the lining. I hope you guys understand. So whatever color you want your collar to appear as is what you're going to use as your lining. So, and as you can see, I have four pieces of it. So I also did the same thing for the back panels. So these are the side back and this is the center back. So I have two pieces each of it, and I added half an inch all the way around it. For the sides, I added half an inch only on this side. I'll be joining to the center back, and I added half an inch to the shoulder areas and the neckline as well. So as you can see, I have my lining. So we're going to start working on the back panel. So let me set my front panels aside. So I made it of about 2 yards of Ankara fabric for the dress, while 1 yard of this plain fabric to form the plait. So we're going to start joining the back panels first, and the first one we want to do is to remove the pins from the pattern paper. We want to separate the pattern paper from the fabrics. So this is what we have, and I'll go ahead now to separate the lining from the fabric and then arrange it. So these are the two center backs, and it's going to be this way. So I'll go ahead to arrange it. And then for the sides, I'm also going to separate it from the lining and arrange it for you guys to see. So these are the sides. I'm going to place it this way. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to take it to my sewing machine and join the fabrics together. So I'm going to place this one right sides facing each other. So place them right sides facing each other this way. So using that half an inch we added to the fabric, so go ahead now to just join it together all the way down. So you can use your pins to hold it down first before you join it. And then when I'm done with that, I'll come over to the other side and join it to the center back this way. So I'll stitch it all the way down. I'll join it together this way from the shoulders down. And then after joining, I'm going to go ahead to join the center back now together. I'll close it up and stitch it all the way down using that half an inch. So you can see the essence of the half an inch we added on the fabric. So whatever I do on my fabric, my main fabric, I'm going to do the same thing on my lining. I'm going to join all the pieces together just like I explained earlier. So when I'm done joining, I'll iron it out and show you guys what it looks like. So after joining the fabrics together, this is what it looks like. So guys, if you're working with a light fabric like Ankara, go ahead to iron stay on all the pieces of fabrics before you join it. This is just going to give your fabric a little bit of weight. So depends, if you're working with crepe, you might not need to do any of that. So the next thing to do now is to join the side fronts to the side of the back panel. So I'm going to remove the paper from the fabric this way and also separate the lining from it. So remember that whatever you are doing on your fabric, you're also doing it on your lining, like you're joining the lining pieces together. So I'm going to place one side of my side front on it this way, right sides facing each other. And then I'll go ahead to use my 1.5 inches seam allowance that we added while drafting the pattern to join the sides, following the body shape. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. I'll place it this way, and then I would use my 1.5 inches seam allowance. So whatever allowance you took out when drafting, go ahead to join the sides using that allowance. So when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys. So after joining the side fronts to the back, this is what it looks like. So I used the same 1.5 inches allowance I took when I was drafting on my pattern, and I've done exactly the same thing on my lining pieces. So the next thing we want to do is to form the pleats on the lower part of our dress. So I'm going to be using a different fabric for this part. So you can try to use the same fabric. It's still going to come out beautiful. So to get the length of fabric to cut, go ahead to open up your dress this way and measure what you have all the way down. So whatever I get after measuring, I'm going to multiply it by 2 to cut out the length of my fabric. But if you want your pleats really full, you can multiply by 3. If you have a lot of fabric, you can multiply by 3. So for me, I got about 40 inches. So I'm going to multiply by 2. So my fabric is going to be 80 inches long. So for the length of my dress, length of my full dress is 38 inches plus 2 inches for folding allowance, and I have 27 inches. So the fabric I'll be cutting now will be 13 inches in height. So I'm gonna head to cut out the fabric for the lower part, and this is what it is. The length is 80 inches, and then the breadth of the fabric is 13 inches, which includes my folding allowance at the base. So to join this fabric to your dress, go ahead to open up your dress, the lower part of your dress, this way, and then place the right side of the fabric facing the right side of your dress, and then starting from one edge, go ahead to form your pleats while joining the two fabrics together. So go ahead to just pleat up your fabric this way. So you can form this pleat first, use your pins to hold it down before you stitch it, but mine, I'm just going to go ahead and stitch while I'm pleating. So while I'm forming the pleats, I'll just keep stitching all the way around it. So try and make your pleats the same size, make them the same size apart this way, so it's going to come out neat, and then stitch it all the way around it. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So guys, after I stitched down the fabric forming the plates, this is what it looks like, and this is what the back looks like. So I would have had fuller pleats if I had worked with times 3 of the length I have on the lower part. So the next thing we want to do is to fix in the center front, and for the center front, I've gone ahead to iron my stay on it. So this is going to make the fabric very stable and firm. So make sure you iron your stay on it, and do the same thing on the lining as well. So I'm going to just go ahead and arrange the center front this way, and then go ahead to join it to the side fronts that we already attached to the dress. So go ahead to join them this way using the 1/2 inch allowance we added while cutting the fabric. So I'm going to join it together this way, and then I will stitch it all the way down on this side. I will stitch it all the way down, place them right sides facing each other, and stitch it using 1/2 inch all the way down. Stitch it all the way down, and then when I'm done with that side, I'll come over to the other side. I'll place them right sides facing each other also, this way, and then I'll go ahead to stitch it all the way down using my 1/2 inch seam allowance. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to repeat the same thing on my lining pieces. I'm going to join everything together, and then I'll show you guys the next thing to do. So after joining the center fronts to the dress, this is what it looks like. So you can see how neat it came out. So when you are done with your dress, this is what the front is going to look like. This is how the pleats are going to sit in front. So the next thing we want to work on is the shawl collar part of this dress. So what I'm going to do first is to merge these shoulder areas together, this collar area together, I'll merge it up this way. I'll merge it up this way, right sides facing each other, and go ahead to use the 1/2 inch I added to stitch it all the way down. So when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys the next thing to. So after joining the collar area together, this is what it looks like. This is what we have. So the next thing we want to do is joining the front and the back neckline together. So what I'm going to do now, this is the back neckline and this is the front neckline. So what I'm going to do first is to flip them over to the wrong side. So I'll flip my fabric now to the wrong side. So what we want to do now is to merge the front neckline and the back neckline, and also the shoulder area. So I'm going to take the point where I joined my collar together and merge it to the point where I joined the back, the center back together, and then I'll use my pin to hold it down. So after holding it down with my pin, I'm going to go ahead and fit in this part of my collar into the back neck. This was why we measured the back neckline while we were drafting the pattern. and then I'll stitch it all the way down to that point where the neckline stopped. So I'll come over to the other side as well and fit in this part of my collar into the back neckline this way. Guys, do this carefully so that you won't make any mistake. And when I get to this point, I'll lift my footer up and turn it and then stitch down the shoulders all the way down. I hope you guys understand. When I get to this point, I'll lift the footer up and turn it to this position to stitch down my shoulder point, and I'll do the same thing for this other side. I'll stitch the neckline down to this part. I'll lift my footer up and turn it over to stitch the shoulder areas together. So we're basically joining the neckline all the way to the shoulder areas. I hope you guys understand. You can use your pins to hold it down first before stitching. Stitch it all the way down using half an inch. So when I'm done doing that, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So repeat the same process for the lining. So after joining the collar to the back neckline all the way to the shoulders, this is what it looks like. So you can see how neat it came out, and this is the lapel collar coming out in front, the shawl collar. So the next thing we want to do now is to turn over with the lining. So this is my lining pieces. I've gone ahead to join it together exactly the same way I did with the main fabric. So make sure you iron your stay to the center front lining. This is going to give your collar area more stability. So I didn't do it for mine, but make sure you do it for yours. Go ahead to iron it on the center front like you did with the main fabric. So what I'm going to do now is to turn my main dress to the right side. I'm going to open it up to the right side this way, and then I'll place the right side of my lining that I've joined together facing it this way. And then the point where I joined the center back together, I'm going to merge it up together this way. The point I join the collar, I'm going to bring it up, and then I'll stitch it all the way down to this center front. I will stitch it on it all the way down using half an inch. So when I'm done with that part, I'll go over to the other side as well and stitch it all the way down also. I'll stitch it all the way down using half an inch. So when I'm done, I'll notch it and then I'll flip it over to the right side. So after I turned over with my lining, this is what it looks like. I turned over to the right side and this is what we have. So you can see how neat this came out, and you can see the shawl collar already taking shape. This is what it's going to look like. So this was the reason why I said you should line the center front with whatever fabric you want your collar to be. So because I used the same fabric to line the center front, you can see that my collar is the same with my dress. So whatever color you want for yours, use it to line the center front, and you're going to have it looking this way. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to iron out this fabric very well. So I'm going to open it up this way. I'll notch the inner seam and then go ahead to iron it so that it becomes very flat. So I'll iron it all the way around all the points I stitched, and when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after I ironed it out very well, this is what it looks like. So you can see I folded in the shawl collar in front, and this is what we have. So you can see how it came out really neat, and this is what the back looks like. This is what we have. So this is what the full look of the dress is looking like already. So our dress is coming out very well. So the next thing I'm going to do is to insert my button and my buttonholes. So the fabric, that the part of your dress that's going to be inside is going to have your buttons, while the one that is going to be on top is going to have the buttonholes. I hope you guys understand. So I'm going to take that 5 inches that we took when we drafting out our pattern. Remember, we took out 5 inches extra, and I'm going to add 1 inch. It is just to give my dress a perfect fit. So I added 1 inch to that 5 inches. So I'm going to come in by 6 inches from the point where your collar starts, and then I'm going to come down by 7 inches from that 6 inches again for the lower buttons. So I'm going to make my buttonholes on the front one, and my buttons are going to sit on the one that is going to go inside. So I'll start from this point I folded in my collar and take 6 inches. So my button is going to be at 6 inches, and then the first one will be at that point. I guys understand. I'll just do the same thing here. I'll fix my buttons here and then 6 inches inside. So when I'm done doing that, we're going to be having a basic long sleeve for this dress. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and then I'll show you guys how to attach it. So I just cut out a basic long sleeve for my dress. So I'm going to leave the link in the description box on how to cut a basic long sleeve, and I went ahead to notch the center point. Let me show you guys how to fix it to your dress now. So you can make use of short sleeve depending on what you want for your dress. So I've already attached one of my sleeve to my dress, and this is what it looks like. You can see how beautiful it looks. So to attach the second sleeve, I'm going to just fixing my sleeve into, I'll turn it to the wrong side this way, and then fix my sleeve into the armhole this way, making sure the right sides are facing each other. And then the points I notched, I'm going to merge it up to the shoulder joining this way, and then use my pins to hold it down. I use my pins to hold it down this way. So after holding down, I'm going to go ahead and start stitching from that center point all the way around it. So make sure you arrange your lining, your armhole and everything together, and stitch it all the way around it. Stitch it all the way around it using half an inch. So when I'm done doing that, I'll show you guys the final look of the dress. So after fixing in the second sleeve, this is what it looks like. So this is the finished product of our dress. You can see how it came out really beautiful. This is what the sleeve. So I'm going to finish up the lining on the inside as well. So this is the finished look of our dress. I'm going to wait for you guys to see. So I'll just go ahead now to insert my buttons, and then I'll finish up the lower part of the dress. I'll fold it in twice and stitch it all the way down, and I'll also insert my buttons. So this is how we end this video for today, guys. I hope you found it useful and I hope you learned something new. So don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video.